Do you like hot foil but hate the waste? Today I'm going to be using both the positive and negative version of the foil and sharing 2 clean and simple cards with you. Hello and welcome back. It's time for another Take 2 with Therese at Altenew, and I have the delightful flowers hot foil plate to share with you today, and it also has a coordinating layering stencil. So what I want to go through today with you is using both the positive and the negative version of your hot foil. To get my positive version of the image, I'm actually going to be doing this with some black hot foil here because I want it to look kind of like a stamped image, but if you look closely at it, it's going to be a little bit shiny and have a slight impression in the cardstock, so it just amps it up a little bit. Now just follow whatever your machine's instructions are for getting the positive image with a hot foil die, and for me the foil press is 20 seconds on the medium heat with this particular foil and this particular cardstock that I'm using, but I've only learnt that through trial and error. And if you are practicing your sandwiches, I suggest starting small. You only need to do like a little piece of cardstock with a little piece of foil and keep running it through until you get the right number of shims, the right heat and the right length of time. I love the big reveal, but I don't want to throw away that negative portion of the foil. So what I'm doing here is I'm taping it with the pretty side of the foil facing up, just using some highlighter tape. Masking tape will work too. But the key is this solid hot foil plate that I have on my machine. Now I've got that heating up and I've got it on the highest heat for 30 seconds and I've added 2 shims. And I only know this because I have practiced this sandwich, but every machine's different and I will show you the big reveal very soon. Okay, so let's do some stenciling. Now these packets have the layering guide in them now, so that's fabulous. Some of the stencils can be a little bit complex and harder to work out than others, and this just takes the guesswork out of it. To be honest, this stencil set was really easy to work out where the layers went, but if you're not sure, at least you can refer to the guide. I chose some of my all-time favourite coloured Altenew inks today. I used the Tranquility set, which is the blues here, the blue greys, the Sugar Plums set. And initially, here I am, I'm fighting with the large blending tool, and this is absolutely my favourite of all the blending tools from Altenew. And instead of just heading for a smaller tool initially, I just kept masking everything off. And then I remembered to get out the smaller blending tool. So when it came to doing the leaves, I used the detailed brushes, and this was much easier. And I really liked that these stencils, you can actually line up multiple images at once here with the leaves. It's not just 1 or 2 leaves and then trying to work them out. I have got the Nature's Wonders for the greens in this image, and initially I was kind of going for a little bit of a lighter colour, but I ended up going for one of the really dark colours in the end, and I think that really did help with the tones. And you may notice here that I did have to come in and change up the greens, but that was really easy to do because I was adding my colour with the stencil. And I also added the greens to the centre of the flower. I did think about bringing some more colours into it, but I like kind of keeping a fairly consistent colour palette if I can. So I've got a fantastic sentiment. It's from the Ornamental Bliss stamp set, and I'm white heat embossing that on some dark purple cardstock. And this isn't a very thick cardstock, so I did actually add another piece of white cardstock behind it just to support it. And I'll often do this with my sentiments. And here's a tip. I have an A2 carved front cut from a piece of scrap cardstock, and this just helps me visualize and work out where I want to put the image on my card. And that's one of the reasons why I'll often do my card panels before. I don't cut them down until after I've created them. That way I can choose what portion of the flowers that I want to be and how I want it situated on my front of my card. So hopefully that might help you. I can just make some tick marks on the piece of cardstock once I work out how I want it to be on my card front. and then cut away the portions on my paper trimmer. I have some of the 1/2 inch ultra sticky tape from Altenew, and I'm just releasing 2 opposite corners, and I want to add this to the front of my A2 side fold card. Now to line it up, I'm putting pressure here on the non-sticky corners, and I can just hold them. Once I'm happy with the placement, I can put pressure onto the adhesive that I've got revealed, and that'll just hold those corners in place while I remove the rest of the release tape. And then I did actually come in and pop up the sentiment. I cut it longer than I needed because I wasn't really sure where I was going to put it on my card. But to cut the excess off, I find I have a lot better success in cutting it straight by flipping the card over and cutting it away with a large straight pair of scissors, as opposed to a crooked pair of scissors. Okay, are you ready for the big reveal? Sometimes I hold my breath when I'm doing hot foiling. It is a game of playing with different cardstocks, different foils, and different hot foil plates will react differently. So I often just make little notes of what does work, and that way I don't have to retest it every time. But here's the big reveal. I just love the look of this glossy black hot foil. How awesome is that? And there's not a speck left. I know, I was actually doing a little dance for joy right here. So I didn't want to kind of do too much to this card, so I cut the panel down, popped it up on the front of a card, and added a simple circular sentiment from the Magnolia Ballerina stamp set. And there's a couple of places where I could have put the sentiment, but I chose to sort of put it up in the upper left-hand portion of the card front. And I really like how these 2 cards came out. You have to let me know which is your favourite. Mine has to be the black one. There's no question asked. It's just such a dramatic card, and in real life even more so. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial and have an opportunity to use both the positive and the negative portions of your hot foil. So if you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, I'd love you to subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate every visit that you make here. And I've got a couple more hot foil videos linked for you to enjoy right here. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.